Hello everyone, it's your host, and your boy, Jet Black the One Only here with
Alice.
and
The guy reading the book.
They can't hear you. They're playing card games.
oh no problem. We also got your boy Tobias playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! And right now we're about to play some Dungeon Hunter 5. And I'm still down to talk nerd stuff, guys. I feel like if anything, the audience will appreciate it.
What weird stuff. I mean, well, I guess comics. But like, did you see any of the stuff about the characters, the X-Force characters they're pulling into the Deadpool movie? Like any of who the characters are?
I know there's like Domino, right?
Well, yeah, she's a staple. But like, the weird one I saw was like Zeitgeist. Do you know that one? He's from the old X-Force series. His power is he can throw up acid.
Throw up acid?
Yeah, he pukes acid.
Huh.
That's his power. He's played by Bill Skarsgård, the guy that did Pennywise in the new It movie, which is an interesting pick. And then there's like some Shatterstar who's like a superhero from the TV universe. In the comics, at least. I don't know if they're going to do the same here.
The TV universe?
Yeah, he's from the universe inside the TV, and he's a gladiator in that one, but he gets dragged out, and he becomes a superhero.
The universe inside the TV?
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Have you ever, like... Well, you probably haven't, but have you ever heard of Inkheart, the series?
Yeah.
So in Inkheart, the whole thing revolves around characters called Silver Tongues, who, by reading books out loud, they can drag the content of those books into the real world. And they can also enter books. And inside those books, like, it's a whole established world that follows the whole thing of the books. And so, it's all about characters from this book called Inkheart getting dragged out and them freaking out in our world. But also trying to, like, well, I'm here now, and it's a lot cooler than where I was before, so why don't I just enslave these people and make them drag out the stuff that'll make me an overlord of this world. So like that. But, so it's like the whole, like, fictional universes exist within their own medium, and so we're just a viewer watching the events play out. And so it's kind of like that, but in the TV.
Let's not have any monsters.
You know Gwenpool. It's Gwenpool.
Well, Gwenpool's from our world.
Yeah, exactly. So she's entered the world of the comics.
That she's
But within the world of the comics, there's also a world of the TV. It's not a crazy idea.
I mean, yeah. In DC, they make it where
they have the same thing. There's a world of cartoons like Animal Man.
Well, that's different because it's not like I watch you on TV. It's like it's just actually animated, like Captain Carrot. They're just a weird cartoon world that follows cartoon laws. In DC, I would say the closest thing is more they treat other universes like comics. So when they have like cross-multiversal adventures, it'll be like, oh, I've read all your books, Batman. Yeah. How's it going, Bruce? It's like, whoa, what the fuck? So they're just all comics to each other. And I get that. They also acknowledge our existence, like our universe, as the one where like we don't have superheroes, but for whatever reason, all our like comic book stories are just like other worlds. But it's like we're making them in a way. Let's see. This shouldn't be too bad. 21 people have defeated the stronghold I'm about to go into, and 15 people have lost. It only has one minion. This is the East Sauce. Oh, how was your weekend?
Busy.
Busy?
I was working on a research paper, which I will continue to work on tonight, and not practicing for my guitar exam, which I will have to be practicing over the next tonight and today really hard to not fail that class.
Best of
luck. It's like the only grade in the class.
The only grade in the class is that?
Guitar, there's no homework. There's just like, we had a quote-unquote midterm exam, which was just like a solo, and that was it, which was easy peasy. This one's like 2 solos and a chord progression, or 2 chord progressions and a solo, and I'm not really good with guitar, so like I need to get good all of a sudden.
How'd you do on the midterm?
I aced it because it was like super simple beginner stuff. This one is also relatively simple, but you have to like, I gotta speed up my fingers moving along the guitar so that I keep a consistent beat. Can't have 2-second pauses between every other note because I'm trying to adjust my fingers.
Let's see. So right now I'm looking at one of the minions that I have. Also, this previewer that's on the side is a little slow. Like, it's not as fast as like where I'm currently at. But I'm looking at one of my minions. I'm trying to figure out how can I make minions better, because I've never actually done that.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can fuse, evolve, master, transmute. So
Still only one monster.
it's a common. Steals memories from their victim. What the fuck? This thing's pretty cool.
Oh, this is definitely been a grind game.
So I can fuse it with.
Summon.
It will gain no XP.
Fiendish.
Why would I do that?
Set and pass.
Yeah, okay, so you have to fuse it with items. Makes sense. So, or by completing weekly quest or missions. What did it say? So I can win it in a stronghold chest.
I want to send. Hey.
Also, yeah, I do have a poison thing set up. I'm gonna test my stronghold. See how tough it is to beat.
Malicious effect.
Daily dungeon. You can evolve. Might try daily dungeon. See how that is. Who is your favorite comic book character?
I don't really have a favorite because I don't
Except a
like
delicious
watch
salad.
enough comics media. But that's kind of hard.
See, Vion's field
Probably
effect,
Batman.
banish from
Probably
the
Batman.
Yeah. Just because
Just cause Batman.
because he's cool.
Holly.
Because he doesn't have any powers, but he's like strong enough to survive in a world that's crazy, full of people who
Activate
do,
Holly.
and that are so beyond him in every capacity.
Well, that's not a
You
hero
just
monster.
surviving, and not just thriving, but surviving in that environment is impressive enough.
Yes,
Looks like Dungeon Hunter 5 froze up. My stronghold had too much going on. Phone couldn't handle it. Oops, I'm gonna start that back. Oh, speaking of Batman, have you seen Batman Ninja yet?
I haven't seen it. How is it?
I haven't seen it yet.
was just put up on King Cartoon like this morning.
I also saw that. Ryan, would you like to? I know that you're busy studying and you have your paper, but would you be free sometime today for us to watch Batman Ninja?
I want to the things due like Wednesday night, so on like Thursday.
May-
Guys don't.
after
After
the exam. Yeah. And then the day afterwards, I might be like moving my stuff out of my dorm,
So
and then
maybe
The day
Thursday.
after- Oh, that. Thursday, the 4th.
Yeah, that's fine.
May
the
the
4th
4th.
be with you. Free comic book day, I think, is normally on like May the 4th. Also, sorry about the interruption on the stream. I tried to test out my stronghold. It was too much for the game. Game shut itself down. No. I can't do the stronghold. I'm not sure if you can see all the enemies here. But they're like, yeah, it's too much. I'm not strong enough. Gonna click back, click raid. It's still trying to show me the same person. Can I choose to just fight someone else? That's what I like to do. Yeah, I'm just not gonna fight them. That's suicide. I think my biggest issue with this game right now is that if too much is happening on screen, just can't play the game.
Pretty common.
So this is the Bounty Hunter Guild everyone's been going on about. Alright.
So it has voice acting, which is why I don't read what the people say out loud.
What do you think?
But I have to keep my phone volume low, because if I turn it up, it'll like blow everybody away.
Ashcan warriors started
So I just gotta read.
Rangers in the name of Thone, and now the traitorous maggots have captured Briartown's reservoir.
Oh, because I always sign
I
up
need
for
that
stuff
thing
too.
to
So
the
yeah,
Ashcan reservoir for me to get.
There's also
Blah blah blah. I'm a bounty hunter. Blah blah blah. I could get some loot. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna spend some stamina. Blah blah blah. I probably won't be able to do this game. Blah blah blah.
Mm.
Gonna team up with Master Jeff. Shout out to Master Jeff, whoever made that character. Appreciate it. There's a way for you to team up with like an AI version of actual players when you go on Quest.
Mm.
I'm a big fan of characters like Sentry and Captain Atom, where they're
Sentry, he's basically just Marvel Superman, though.
he's pretty much God. I mean, there's some pretty high tier people.
Yeah.
I would argue that Superman does not really hold a candle to Sentry, just because of what Sentry can do.
What can Sentry do that Superman can't?
Pretty much reality manipulation. Like Sentry and Captain Atom both can kind of just
Well, you've
say.
already
like,
established that Captain Atom's like anything made of atoms, he can like manipulate. But Sentry, like, the most crazy thing I ever heard about him doing was making the world and himself forget he existed.
That is a
That's
basic thing that Sentry can do.
But other
Did
than
you see
that,
him
he
make
mostly
that
just
mini
flies around
werewolf
and
in his
punches
hand?
stuff. He even like fought the Hulk.
Well, whenever he fights the Hulk, it's unfair because the Hulk, for whatever reason,
As War
is
Breaker.
naturally pacified when he fights. Well, not when he fights, when he's around Sentry. That's one thing that I discovered reading like the Sentry series, is that Hulk and he just is like a puppy dog more or less when he hangs out with Sentry. So just because he's World Breaker doesn't mean shit if like he's naturally nerfed against Sentry.
Well, yeah, but they still like he still holds his own against that.
See, chain link one.
And, like Superman's probably much stronger than Hulk.
But it has nothing to do with strength when you can just do like reality breaking things.
Yeah, but what has reality breaking stuff has Sentry ever done? I've never heard of anything.
So there's a scan, and this is like the best example where Sentry explains how he can just like manipulate like the molecular structure of things, and as he explains it, he just makes a tiny werewolf in his hand. There's like no reason for him to do it, but it's just like showing it off.
Really see him doing any
But
of that.
you do see him do it. You just gotta read Sentry books. He has his own series.
The big
I've read
reality
all of
manipulator I
them.
ever hear about is Franklin Richards.
Franklin
Who has
Richards
Galactus as his herald.
is pretty cool. I've never really
That's like
read a
real
book
reality
on it.
manipulation because it's all he ever does.
I like the fact that Sentry's greatest villain is himself. I think that's another thing that I fuck with. He has a multiple
got the
personality
shadow.
disorder thing, yeah. And Captain Atom ends up in a similar position, where it's like, you're so good. It's like, who do you fight? I guess I more or less just have to fight me. This is the best
Well,
thing
now
we
that the
can do.
Dark Universe is a thing, everyone has a bajillion dark counterparts if Batman's got a bunch.
True. Sideways talked about that in his recent book. He was like, I hope there are like dark multiverse Sideways. He was like, wouldn't that be sweet?
Why? They'd probably be crazy evil.
Yeah. Just like all the other dark multiverse people.
How exactly does the dark multiverse work? Because it sounds like it exists, but how does it exist if all the worlds just constantly blow up all the time?
They only blow up at a certain point. It's not really that they kind of blow up. They just stop existing more or less.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
how does it continue to exist? Eventually it would run out of worlds.
So the idea is that they claim that it's like anything you hope or fear for ends up becoming a thing in the dark multiverse, which should imply that good things exist in the dark multiverse.
Because
You never
like,
see
the
them.
evil thing in the other multiverse should become good in the dark multiverse. You would think.
Well, if it's like a hopes and dreams thing, you would think that like people have hopes and not just fears. You know, like yeah,
But that's not dark.
exactly. Which is why I feel like you just don't see any of those.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually holding up really well. The game so far. This is the farthest I've ever gotten in this game. 10th Metal was really cool. It's something that gets
10th or
introduced. 10th. They kicked it up a notch.
Oh, no.
Oh, Nth Metal is a thing. Yeah, I mean you are.
This nth is like 9th metal, so this is 10th metal. Ooh.
And 10th Metal is pretty broken. I've been wanting to talk about it for a hot minute, but I'm
It's
waiting
like
for
Magic Metal or something?
Ryan to finish Metal. He hasn't started Metal.
Finish metal. How am I gonna finish?
What I haven't started. Mm-hmm.
I know Comics Explained drop like a 4.5 hour video covering the entire series, so I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
get around to
I
that
mean,
at some
There's
point.
just like a bunch of it.
There are only like 6 or 7 books in Metal.
No, but there's like a lot of build up.
Well, don't read the tie-ins, Ryan. You don't have to.
No, but that's why the video's there for. 'Cause
Yeah.
He talks about the tie-ins and stuff.
But I'm saying
As well
Ryan
as the
doesn't
stuff.
have to read the tie-ins.
Well, I like the tie-ins and the build up to it, and then the thing itself, and then the aftermath stuff. I like the entire
fuck.
story, the context around it. I don't like just being dropped into a story without any context necessarily. If there is context available.
There's plenty in the main
Chapter
series.
1, The Phantom Menace.
Because you can just read Metal like 1 through 6 or 7 or whatever. And the tie-ins are like good.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't have to read them to understand what's happening.
I didn't count.
I'd say the best tie-in was
Okay, how about this? What's
Gotham City had been
unaccountable
turned
would be
into like
duality of first
a segregated city where each villain had like taken a part of it.
You mean Long Halloween?
No, this is in
Sounds like
this-
Long Halloween.
this is, but they each have like this card from the Dark Multiverse that essentially makes them god over that part, so they can do whatever they want in that like section.
Yeah.
It just shows how incompetent Batman villains are. Mr. Freeze, what I wanted for his section was like for his wife to just be normal, and for it to be a
He
normal
could
part
do
of
that with the
Gotham.
card that could do that.
Yeah, but instead it's like everything's ice and they have giant ice monsters, and I'm like, Mr. Freeze, what the fuck? That's not your
can
actual
fix your
motivation.
wife.
Just make your wife normal.
Is this just the double?
Even
Then
if
you
it's
can
just
stop being a villain.
yeah. Bane's was, I guess it made sense.
A lawless society where the strong survive.
It was a big ass wrestling ring, and he just watches niggas fight. That was all he wanted.
I mean, I guess he is a luchador.
Poison Ivy's was normal. It was like it was
A
a bunch of
Eden
plants,
place.
and I control.
No
the
people
plants.
allowed.
And yeah, Riddler's was like it's like a labyrinth, and it's hard to escape.
Did you ever read that the War of Jokes and Riddles comic?
I have not. I heard it's kind of bad.
I heard it was really good.
I heard it sold well.
Usually, pretty good comics sell well. Because the first issue usually sells well, but then if it's not good, then people don't buy the other ones. So,
Selling pastries after
I'm not convinced.
but you haven't read it,
I have not
so
read.
you don't know.
I mean, you're right. I don't know.
A trap, hand trap version of it.
It's,
I've heard that
still not-
White Knight comic's pretty good.
I've heard good things about it.
Where the Joker becomes the new pseudo Batman.
Is that a rarity?
Where he's like, I'm gonna take down Batman and make Gotham a better place because I'm
Yeah.
all medicated now.
I think it's like a political thing. Is like what he tries to do.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
becomes like the mayor or whatever, in order to like
They have
reform and
different
tries to like
rarities
get
over
all
there.
the vigilantes underneath the police department so that they work for the government. Clean up the city of Gotham. And Batman's like, I don't trust you because you're the Joker.
That's good for me. Is that might.
And Joker's like, I don't like you because you're Batman. And like you're a vigilante and that's against the law.
Oh, yeah.
True.
There's two Harley Quinns.
Kind of broken interaction.
There's the old Harley Quinn from like the cartoon, and then there's the newer Harley Quinn. There's a total slot. And the Joker, like, just because he was so crazy, he just picked up the second one, like
Remind me
during
what
a bank
specifically
robbing,
what
and he
you've done.
completely didn't realize that it was a different Harley. He just started calling it Harley.
That's weird.
Yeah, 'cause he was crazy. Oh, this is also Joker's like Jack Napier from the Batman movie.
Oh, okay.
So he actually has like a whole backstory and
You
stuff
can
like that.
activate this card from your hand by paying half your life.
Very
points.
Killing Joke-ish, but also like he's the character from the Tim Burton movie.
Like just straight up.
Well, he's called Jack Napier, so that was the name of the bad guy of the Joker from the first Batman.
I don't usually, but it
So
has
does it
really
take
good
place in
sense.
movie
I was-
continuity?
No, it's just that this is the only Joker that's like ever had been given a real
An
name.
exception.
So like that's who they're basing this one on.
Just highlight those
This is like
damage
Petty-
equal to the difference between
Petty
life
Crook or
points
something,
if you're
like
lower
comedian
than
turned
your
Petty
opponent.
Crook that became the Joker.
Oh, hey.
I
real
think I
quick
might not be
before-
able to do Dungeon Hunter 5. I'm really
not
disappointed.
running?
It just
Work
froze
Monday,
again.
Wednesday, Friday, 12 to
It was a
7.
one-hit combo.
Like, always a thing. That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta go
Unless I get a
get my game on.
Have a wonderful day.
See ya.
so
Catch you later, Ella. And catch you all later. Thank you all for watching. I'm sorry, but Dungeon Hunter 5 doesn't seem like it'll actually work on my phone very well. But we still do have PUBG, so maybe we'll do a PUBG stream. Well, have a wonderful day. Well, thank you all once again, and have a great day. If you like this video, make sure to like this video. Favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that bell so you know if I whenever we do these live streams. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jeb Life One Only, here with
Can I still
I
read
can
the book?
talk to
Logging Out.
Hunter
Peace.
or Jeff sometime during the summer, seeing if I can swap my hours on Tuesday and Thursday for the ones-on-ones.